And tonight we do have some new information to tell you about regarding what happened to the suspect who killed this Euclid police officer, Jacob Derbin. Now, community members are remembering Officer Derbin tonight, who died in the line of duty Saturday when he was reportedly ambushed. But we now know that suspect, identified as 24-year-old Deshaun Vaughn, died by suicide. That's according to the Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner. Vaughn died after a standoff with law enforcement in Cuyahoga Heights one day after Officer Derbin was killed.
A live look right now at the Euclid Police Department. Tonight, the Euclid community will come together to honor Officer Derbin. There is a candlelight vigil planned for 7:45. Just a few hours ago, Cleveland firefighters walked in honor of fallen Euclid police officer Jacob Derbin, the 23-year-old tragically killed in the line of duty Saturday night. They carried an American flag 5 miles as they walked from Edgewater Park to the Cleveland Firefighters Memorial in his memory. And that's where we find our Kaitor K right now. Kaitor, good afternoon to you. I'm sure it was a very emotional event.
Very, very emotional, Jay. So the Association of Cleveland Firefighters says that Jacob Derbin's legacy will carry on. They're going to make sure that his name is never forgotten. That's why they gathered today for this 5-mile walk, letting Derbin's family and the entire Euclid community know that they are there for them. Euclid Police Detective Steve Schubert tells us their department is grateful for this gesture from the community. We asked him how Derbin's family is doing right now. He said that at this moment they're focused on healing and the funeral that's coming up on Saturday. He said he spoke briefly with Derbin's dad, former Euclid police officer Vince Trusso, but is now giving them space.
Right now we've kind of left the family alone a little bit. It's something that they really need to, they need to heal. They need to get over, this is a devastating loss. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not really sure. I couldn't even imagine, my son being on the police department with me and having to hear this come out and having to be part of something like this. I couldn't even imagine. So, my prayers are with Vince and Jacob's mother. It's I can't even imagine what they're going through.
Your heads, we ask Almighty God to be with us.
After the walk, there was a prayer and a moment of silence for Officer Derbin. Also, a woman sang the national anthem in Derbin's memory. And now the organization Carry the Load, who carries the American flag across the country in honor of fallen service members and first responders, they were in Cleveland today and they participated in the 5-mile walk. We'll be talking to them coming up at 6.
Yeah, in fact, we'll have a little bit more on that just briefly, just in moments from now. Kaitor K live in Cleveland tonight. Kaitor, thank you.
And we should note, among those carrying Officer Derbin's name on the walk was one of his close friends from high school. Matt Rascone spoke with him, and Matt, if this is a gentleman who has known him from high school, those memories have got to be flooding to him today.
Yeah, it was just 6 years ago that they graduated, and his friend said again and again during our conversation, you could not find anyone who would say a bad thing about Jacob Derbin. He was just awesome and loved by many. Now, Jack Petrick is who I talked to. He's known Jacob, or Jake, since before kindergarten, and they continued to be friends through the years into high school. And it was at Cuyahoga Heights High School that Jacob earned the nickname Wookie. Jack said he did a great Chewbacca impression. Now, when he wasn't goofing around or playing football, Jack said his friend was dedicated to helping and serving others. He always knew he wanted to be a police officer, and Jack was just heartbroken to learn about his sudden death on Saturday. He got the call from a mutual friend the day it happened.
He loved people. He just wanted to be a police officer his whole life, and it's tragic that he wasn't even on there for a year. Something like this happens. It's ridiculous.
Jack has been a firefighter for about as long as Jacob was an officer. He and 2 other friends from high school wore Jacob's name, carried his name during the 5-mile walk this afternoon. Jack said it's been so nice to see the community rallying behind the Euclid Police Department and Jacob's family. And he encouraged people to donate to a GoFundMe that's been set up for the family. You can find a link to that fund on our website. And we'll hear more memories about Jacob coming up in the news at 6.
Okay, looking forward to that. Matt Rascone, thank you so much for sharing. And we do want to tell you we have details for you regarding the funeral services for Officer Derbin. Visitation is Friday. It's from 3 to 8 p.m. at A. Repepi & Sons Funeral Home in Middleburg Heights. The funeral is Saturday at 11 a.m. at St. Columkill Church in Parma. Burial will follow that service at St. Mary's Cemetery in Cuyahoga Heights.